The closing months of World War II saw global politics cracked into two major power blocks. Those who'd learnt from Germany the blinding dangers of ideology, so prompting a new thrust towards freedom, and then those states who'd learned from Germany the awesome central power to be gained by smothering people in ideology and identity politics. Initially, South Africa teetered between these two forces, but the elections of 1948 proved decisive, ushering in the fateful policy of apartheid, a new direction considered by many to be so impractical that the 1950s, despite the strain of an escalating police state, played out to the tune of great hope, indeed expectation that this crazy new policy must surely be rescinded in favor of freedom. A decade whose unique combination of political intensity and hope sparked an explosion of popular culture, theatre, dance, journalism, but above all, music. Everywhere there was music. Townships on the reef were permeating in songs of praise and celebration and mourning. There were traditional songs and church hymns, travelling choirs and African jazz bands, whose generous smiles were being splashed over the vivid new pages of drum, while teams of labourers sang to the rhythmic beat of their work. A post-war renaissance which unleashed an iconic generation of creative talent. However, as the 50s ticked over into a new decade, much of that hope was snuffed out by a moment of trauma so severe it changed South Africa forever. But while formal political resistance was crushed in its aftermath, the cultural explosion of the 50s could not be extinguished. Instead, it would continue its rise as an indomitable weapon in the fight for hearts and minds, and ultimately, freedom. Song for Sophiatown traces the dramatic arc of 1950s and 60s South Africa through the eyes of an extraordinary, interwoven generation of artists and leaders. Henry Nxumalo, Miriam Makeba, Arthur Goldreich, Hugh Masekela, Todd Matshikiza, Trevor Huddleston, Desmond Tutu. A story contrasting the warmth of humanity with the cold machinery of the state, as these protagonists are drawn unwillingly into politics through a series of seminal moments which remain foundational to our national identity. The Defiance Campaign through Sophiatown and the Freedom Charter, the Women's March into the Treason Trial, Sharpeville, Liliesleaf, and the Rivonia Trial. Song for Sophiatown is an ode to a generation of creative talent whose work and resilience carried the baton of hope against overwhelming odds, so inviting our generation to do the same.